start your clothing brand, you're gonna need 3 apps: Alibaba, PicsArt, and Procreate. Procreate can be swapped out with Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. However, I just go with Procreate because I believe it's the easiest to use on the iPad and it's way cheaper when you're comparing it to Photoshop or Illustrator, where you could be paying, it's like $200 or $300 a year to be using those apps. Otherwise, Procreate is just like $10 and you have it forever. Alibaba is just gonna be the app you use to get your manufacturers. You can also go through Instagram to find manufacturers, but I think Alibaba is just the easiest because it's the most organized. You just go in the search bar, you look up any product you want, whether you're making like skateboards or washing machines to t-shirts, they got it all. Just go on there and find a manufacturer who's making that type of thing. And then you can go through and see all the reviews of people who used them before, see if anybody's even used this manufacturer before, everything like that. Whereas if you're finding your manufacturer through Instagram, it could be a lot harder to legit check them and make sure you're actually gonna get what you're ordering. Now for editing my pictures, I mostly do everything in the little iPhone editor. It damn near got everything you need on there. I don't do all the crazy stuff you got in Lightroom. I just do like the basics. I just try to make my pictures look a little bit more professional. But PicsArt is how I do everything else that I can't necessarily get with the iPhone editor, like changing the backgrounds and things of that nature. That's what I use PicsArt for. For Procreate, this is how I design everything that I make, and this is how I make my tech packs. If you want more information on tech packs, I can drop another video on that, but this is just an overall guide. You could get the gist of it just off of a quick Google search. Tech packs are basically just what you're gonna send to your manufacturer, letting them know all the materials, the fabrics, the measurements, the size charts, everything that you're using for your clothing that you're making. You're just gonna put it all together in a detailed way for the manufacturer to know exactly how to make the product that you want to make. The little bonus app that I also use is Photoroom. Photoroom is basically just for mockups. You could use it for other things, but I only use it for mockups. You basically just lay down your t-shirt, your hoodie, whatever, just lay it down on the floor, take a picture, and then put it in Photoroom, and it'll just take out the background for you. So it's just a real easy way to make a mock-up for your clothing. So it could just have like a white background or a black background. It just makes it look more professional when you're selling it to the customers, basically. You could sell your clothes with just a picture of it on the floor, but I think when you take out the background, it just gives it a much more professional appeal. When people see a more professional clothing brand, it makes them more likely to buy, just because whenever you are selling things online, the big thing for people is how legitimate does this seem? Because it's easy to get your money took when you're buying things online. All the supplies that you're gonna need can be found on Amazon. Otherwise, you could go on eBay or secondhand websites to find things as well at a little bit of a cheaper price, but everything that I'm about to list off, you can get on Amazon. First thing I use is this thermal printer. Now this is 10 times better than a regular printer because it comes out as a sticker. So when you pack up your stuff, you just throw the sticker on the package. You can send it out instead of printing out a piece of paper, cutting it out and then taping it on there. So a thermal printer is the way to go. Also a thermal printer because you don't gotta buy ink like a normal printer. All you do is, it just runs off the sun. The ink is made from the sun somehow. I don't know how that's possible. I use this thing at night, so I don't know how it's thermal. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong word, but I'm thinking of like those thermal calculators they give you in school that run off sunlight and don't need batteries. But I don't know, maybe I sound dumb as hell, but all I know is that it works and you don't gotta buy ink. It is a little more expensive. It's damn near like $200, but it saves you a lot of money in the long run just because you don't gotta be buying ink. But for that, you are gonna need shipping labels. Get the 4x6 shipping labels if you get the same printer as me. These are cheap too. You get like 500 or 200 of them and it's not that expensive. There is a way to get them for free from USPS or UPS or something like that. But for some reason, when I did it, they didn't send me the right ones. So I just decided not to go with them. I don't think they had the right measurement or something. I don't know what it was, but you could try them if you want to. I just buy mine off Amazon. It's not expensive. Like, you're not going to be losing out on money if you just get it on Amazon. Another thing I do have to say is a lot of people do get the free boxes from UPS or USPS. Those give you free boxes. They'll just drop them off at your house if you order them online. If you're just shipping clothes, I would not get those because shipping out boxes is just way more expensive than shipping out poly mailers. Essentially what a poly mailer is, you just put the clothes in here, you take off this little adhesive, and then you take it down like this. It's simple as hell. It's like $20 for a pack of a lot on Amazon. You just gotta know what size to get. If you're doing like t-shirts, get the smaller ones. If you're doing hoodies, get the bigger ones. It's not that complicated. If you're doing both, just get a little variety. Or if you have like multiple different t-shirts, I would get a bigger bag just so you don't run into a problem where you gotta put a big ass order in a small bag and you can't fit it. Now you gotta get 2 shipping labels. That's coming out of pocket, you feel me? And shipping labels do cost a little bit. They damn near like $10. If you shipping out heavyweight items, if you just shipping out little Gildan t-shirts, it probably less expensive. It might be like $4 to $6. We'll go with the poly mailers instead of the boxes just because it's more affordable. Yes, you are getting the boxes for free, but when you printing out the shipping labels, it's going to be more expensive. So you're not really saving money like that. And it's more of a hassle taking all them boxes to the post office, or even if you get in the boxes picked up, putting them all on your front porch. It's just easier to use the bags, in my opinion. I do use a laptop for my designing my website, putting things on my website, doing all the logistical information with taxes and things of that nature. I also used to design on my laptop with Photoshop. I got a refurbished iPad. I would definitely get yours refurbished. It worked the same way. Just get it with the 256 gigabytes instead of the 64. I use an iPad now instead of a computer just because I feel like it's easier to design. You just get an Apple Pencil. You could draw on the iPad. It's like a damn near regular paper, except you use layers. You could erase things way easier. Like, it's just 10 times better. You could change the opacity of what you're drawing. Like, it's just 10 times easier. If you still drawing, like sketching your designs on a notepad or in a sketchbook, I would just switch to the iPad. For the first like 2 years, I was doing the sketchbook, but it's 10 times easier if you just use the iPad. Plus, it's easier to transfer the images to your tech packs and things of that nature instead of like taking pictures and uploading it onto the computer and things of that nature. So definitely go ahead and get you an iPad. You could damn near do all the same stuff on your phone, but I would still get the iPad just because the bigger screen is way more helpful. Just trust me, go with the iPad. Get the refurbished one. It's not going to be too bad. Mine was like less than 300. The next thing you're going to need is influencers and models. If you got a little bit of clout, just go ahead and post on your story, hey, who trying to model? But for everybody else, you might just have to go about approaching people in public and being like, hey, you ever modeled before? I got a clothing brand. I feel like you would be a good fit for it. People gonna take that as such a compliment, bro. Like, nobody ever say no to that. I'm keeping it a buck with you. Nobody ever says no, because the fact that you telling them that they could be a model, you basically just telling them they handsome as hell or they attractive as hell. You telling somebody you trying to have them model for you, they gonna say yes. And if they say no, oh well, just ask somebody else. If you ever like at an event or even just at the mall or something like that, you gonna find 10 people who you gonna think will be a good fit. Like, it's so many people, unless you living in the middle of nowhere, you could just go to a mall and you're gonna find people who you think gonna be a good fit for your brand. If you really can't find anybody who you think gonna be a good model for your brand, then I would just go ahead and start DMing influencers and saying, hey, if I send you some for free, would you be willing to wear it on your page and shout me out? And they always say yes, bro. I ain't never had nobody say no to me before. I've never paid nobody to put on my clothes before. People just want to do it. They want free clothes and they want to be seen as a model. So you helping them out and they helping you out. It's an even exchange, a win-win, you feel me? The thing you're gonna need is a mission statement. And I know you've seen like mission statements for big corporations. There's a reason why every big company got a mission statement. It's because you need direction. If you don't got no direction, your brand isn't gonna go nowhere and people gonna be able to see that you got no direction. You need to have a purpose behind why you making these clothes or why you got a business in the first place. If you don't got no reason for it, that's gonna be apparent and people are gonna notice that. Another thing you gonna need is a love for design, a love for business, you gonna need a driving force to get you to do this, because it's not hard. Despite what everybody says, it is hard. It's not easy. There's not gonna be 3 easy steps to get your 6-figure clothing brand. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. It's gonna take a lot of overtime. You're gonna be working more than 40 hours a week to get this working, to get this popping off. There's very few people who actually just get the one thing out there and it just explodes because of the TikTok algorithm. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be putting in a lot of work to make this happen. So if you don't got a love for design or a love for business or a mission statement, a driving force to get you to do this every day, you're not gonna succeed. I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna need one of those things in order to succeed. To be honest, you're probably gonna need all of those things in order to succeed. With all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all some things that I don't think you need, which is an LLC. When you first starting out, you don't need an LLC, or at least I didn't need one. Chances of you being sued by one of your 4 customers is damn near 0. And going through all that work to get an LLC and paying all that money, and you're gonna have to pay all that money every single year for this LLC, and you might decide you don't even like this business. You don't even like making clothes. Maybe you just like wearing clothes. Maybe you just wanted to be a model the whole time and you didn't realize. You thought you wanted to make clothes, but you just wanted to wear clothes. Now you got this whole LLC that you pay all this money for no reason. The only real purpose behind the LLC, besides it sounding cool, is that it gives you legal protection. But at the end of the day, it don't even give you that legal protection, because if somebody wants to, they don't have to sue your company. They could just sue you. They could go through your company to sue you. So you're not protecting yourself from nothing. And if you don't got no assets, if you don't got nothing for them to take, why do you got an LLC? Like, you got nothing for them to sue you for. So they can't sue you. Or if they do, you bankrupt regardless, my nigga. Like, there's no reason for you to have that LLC. I will wait until you're making more money to get your LLC. Before I got an LLC, I just had a DBA, doing business as, and instead of paying hundreds of dollars for LLC, it costed me 50 cents, my boy. 50 cents, that's it. That's all it takes to get a DBA. All you need is to get it notarized, and getting it notarized cost me 50 cents. You could even get it notarized for free at some places. Like if you got a Chase bank account, getting a DBA is free for you. So you could either get a free option or hundreds of dollars every year option. It's up to you which one you want to get. My fault. Let me explain what a DBA is before I move on. It's essentially doing business as. So instead of going by your government name to do your business, you get a fake name. Like for me, it's Loveless, because that's the name of my brand, so my DBA is Loveless. So essentially, it's just another form of an LLC in regards to being able to do business under a different name. It doesn't have no type of legal protection because it's still just me. I'm the company, but I don't need the legal protection, because if somebody sue me, well, nobody gonna sue you, bro. They just gonna, if anything, they gonna call their bank and report it as fraud and then just get a chargeback. Nobody gonna sue you. That's not legal advice. I don't. If somebody do sue you, don't come talk to me now. The chances of it happening is just very low. So I'm not stressed about it. I don't think you should be stressed about it. I wouldn't do all that work to get that LLC right away. The next thing that I feel like is overrated is business cards. Now, business cards can be useful for certain situations. Like I was at a concert and this dude gave me his business card one time, and it just kind of showed that he was a little bit more professional, I say. But that's all they give you, is that professional aspect. If you throwing business cards in every package you ship out, I don't understand what the point is. They already know what your business is. They bought from you. Like, they got this package from your website, so they know what your business is. Am I tripping? Or does that not make no sense? And if you see somebody out in public, you could have a QR code on your phone. You could just give them your Instagram. Like, I've never had a business card in my life, and it hasn't deterred me from making any money off my brand. If anything, I feel like if I got business cards, it would have just been a waste of money. Anytime I get a business card, I just throw it away and I just follow their Instagram. Like, they could have just gave me their Instagram. They didn't need to give me a whole business card. Another thing you don't need is a lot of money. If you wanted to start a clothing brand, you could start a clothing brand with less than $500. By going through the route of pre-orders, not using a Shopify website, there's cheaper alternatives. Like I said, not getting an LLC right away. There's a lot of ways to save money. Those were just 3 examples, but there's tons of ways. Anytime you're about to do something, I would look up for free or cheaper, things like that, just because you could get Photoshop for free. I'm a law-abiding citizen, but you could get Photoshop for free. There's a lot of things you could get for free, or you could get cheaper than they are. You could go on eBay for everything. You don't gotta be buying all the brand new stuff. You don't gotta be doing all the extra branding work. There's very few things that are essential to this, and you don't need to go through all the extra rigmarole in order to get started. Just get started. That's really the hardest part, is just getting started. You could start with 10 t-shirts and work your way up. Sell 10 t-shirts, then buy 20. Sell 20 t-shirts, then buy 50. You don't gotta have hella money to start. Don't save 20K to get your clothing brand started. It helps, don't get me wrong, it helps. But you could lose all that money just by the learning process. So I would rather learn with a little bit of money than a lot of money, so you lose less, if that makes sense. I got my manufacturer list linked below if you're trying to see what manufacturers I use. I think it's like $25, something like that. Enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. And I got other videos on underground clothing brands and things of that nature that you could check out next.